Hey guys, Chris here. Today I'm going to be talking about three important things that weren't taught to you in school and that aren't taught in school to students these days that definitely should be to prepare them for their adult lives. The first one is credit cards and how to manage your debt. There's way too many kids out there right now, and adults as well, that don't know how to properly manage their credit cards. They max them out, right? These really high interest credit cards, they're getting hit with like 20 points, 21 points. They max them out, they totally mess up their credit score, and then take some years to recover. Some of them never recover. And there's way too many people doing this. So what you should look at doing if you're someone that has a high amount of credit debt, or if you're looking at getting a credit card soon, keep your balance below 30% of your total room on the card, first off. And if you do have a maxed out card or it's close and you have some debt now that you have to deal with and shift around, look at lower cost options, lower interest options that you can shift that debt to so you can pay it down sooner, and that way you don't have to worry about it. Because paying 20, 21 points, 19 points, whatever it is that they're charging these days on these entry credit cards, it's just ridiculous. It'll take you forever, and they're bleeding you dry, and you don't have to put up with that. So there's a lot of lower cost options. You can look at things like a line of credit, right? You can look at lower fee cards. I'm sure if you shop around, you can find some really decent cards that are coming out these days that are much better than the rates that you would have gotten on an entry level card. So do a little bit of shopping around there. You can look at things like secured credit cards even, where you put up some money against the card to ensure what you're charging on the card, and then you end up getting that money back later. You can look at things like friends and family, right? So say you have someone in your family that's willing to lend you the money to pay off your credit card debt right now, or to shift that debt over to them. Paying them a few points is a lot better than paying the credit card company. First off, because you know them, right? So they'll most likely give you a better rate unless you've done something to piss them off, right? And usually you'll be able to pay it off in a much longer period of time, unless it's a short-term loan from them and they're tight on money. But you get a lot more flexibility there. Something else I wanted to mention to you in regards to managing credit cards and debt is keeping an eye on your credit score. So if you're living in the States, there's annualcreditreport.com. Once a year you can get your free annual credit report update. Keep an eye on your credit score and make sure you know what's going on, okay? And if you're like me and you live in Canada, I came across this great app recently to start up called Mogo. You can find them at mogo.ca. I'll put a link in the description of the video. And they offer different types of flexible loans and then alternative types of finance to young millennials, and they do it through an app-based process. But a really great feature, and this app is free by the way, a really great feature that they offer now is that they will provide you an updated monthly credit score, monthly, not annually, monthly, totally free, just by you using the app. They pay to get your credit score updated, and they will update it and show it to you on the app. So that's a great free option if you're living in Canada and you spend a lot of time on your smartphone for managing your credit score and keeping an eye on that. The second thing that they don't teach you in school that they definitely should is how to manage a monthly budget. It's not touched upon much in class unless you're lucky and you've had a teacher who's took it upon themselves to teach you about these important skills for adulthood, right? But usually managing a monthly budget and teaching that to young people is typically left to parents. And the thing about that is parents aren't always necessarily the best at doing that themselves. You don't know where they learned or if they just developed their own habits. A lot of people just don't know how to manage a monthly budget very well. They're either spending way too much on rent and car payments, right? Rent, as a rule, you should try to apply this in your life. Shouldn't be more than a week's salary. Anything more than that and you're overextending yourself, okay? Whether it's rent or a mortgage payment. And when it comes to a car payment, that should be nowhere close to what you spend on rent or a mortgage, okay? A couple $100 a month if you're making a couple grand. That's it. If your car payment is close to or the same amount or more than your rent or your house payment, your living expense, you're way overextending yourself, okay? You definitely cannot afford that vehicle even though you think you can because you got some financing on it, okay? Do not do that. You'll be shooting yourself in the foot. And another thing that people don't manage very well when they're managing their monthly budget is how much they eat out, right? So when you go to a restaurant, it's marked up ridiculously over what you could spend if you were cooking for yourself at home. So if you're trying to save some money, that's definitely one of the first places to look. It's the easiest way to do that. Eat out less. Also, things like coffee and alcohol. Make your coffee at home, okay? You don't have to go to Starbucks and get your quadruple frappuccino, whatever, for $5 or $6 every day, okay? You can make yourself a nice cup of coffee at home for pennies on the dollar. And it's fine if you still buy coffee or tea or whatnot when you're out and about sometimes. But you don't have to go spend that money at a coffee shop or in a store every single day, a couple times a day, even with some people. You're just throwing money away, all right? And alcohol. Having drinks is fine. Partying and having a good time, I'm all for that, okay? If you want to drink to unwind after work, or if you want to go out for drinks with friends once in a while, that's fine. But if you make a habit of that, you're paying the premium that hospitality businesses charge because they have a profit margin. You could be doing that at home. So cut that cost as well. It's unnecessary, it really is. And my last piece of advice when managing a monthly budget is an app called Mint. So if you need some help managing your budget, this app is great. It's totally free. I'll link to it in the description as well. And Mint allows you to categorize budgets for different categories. It links up with your bank accounts and keeps track of everything. And then it'll let you know on a monthly basis how much you're spending, whether you're above budget or below budget, both overall and for individual categories. So you can keep a good eye on what you're spending and where your money's going. So yeah, check out Mint. Again, I'll put the link in the description. That should help you out a lot. And the third thing, and I think the most important thing that they don't teach you in school, is financial freedom and how to achieve that. And what I mean by financial freedom is school teaches you to work for someone else, right? It teaches you to get your degree or your diploma or whatever it is, go work for someone else, make a good living, hopefully retire with a nice pension. That's the dream. That's what you were sold, right? Half the time, that's not how it works out. You don't end up getting much fulfillment after a certain amount of time, unless you get lucky and you get a really good 9 to 5. That's possible. You can still do very, very well if you work for the right company at the right time. But most people, a 9 to 5 isn't as fulfilling as they thought, and it's not going to give them the lifestyle that they might necessarily want. A lot of people just end up settling because they get comfortable. So I'm talking about financial freedom and moving outside of that 9 to 5 lifestyle. So your dreams and aspirations. Maybe you want to travel. Maybe you want to retire your parents. Maybe you want to buy a supercar. Everyone's got a different dream or different lifestyle ambitions that they have. Whatever it is, you can achieve that stuff outside of a 9 to 5 by going after financial freedom. The first way to do that is minimizing expenses. Similar to how I talked about with the monthly budgets and your credit cards, those are great ways to start and minimize your monthly expenses. Because if you bring that down, you now have more money to save and apply to make other money elsewhere that you aren't spending on those expenses, right? Second way to do this is, or second part, I should say, after minimizing expenses, is maximizing cash flow. And cash flow is cash coming in every month, be it from your 9 to 5 and your daily grind, or from your side hustle, which is right now the best way to start working your way out of your 9 to 5 lifestyle, out of your daily grind, and going after financial freedom. Minimize the expenses and maximize the cash flow. You can do this with rental properties, right? Save a couple grand up, put a down payment on a rental property, get some tenants, fix it up a little bit, get some cash flow coming in every month. If you're really ambitious, what you can do is put some money down, get a rental property, cut your expenses even more by living in one of your units, right? So now you're living rent-free or almost rent-free, and you've got your tenants paying down the mortgage on their property. And if you don't want to manage it, you can even pay a property management firm 10% or so and they will manage your tenants and your property for you every month, so you don't have to worry about it. So that's one great way, and people have been doing that for years to generate cash flow. The second great way, and more my personal favorite, especially in this day and age, it's 2017 now, is web businesses. So we have the power of the internet. We've never had this before. We're the first generation to really grow up with this and dive right in with all these new opportunities and technology and whatnot that are coming about, that we're incredibly fortunate, because it's really easy. It might not seem like it is, but truth be told, it is, to start a web business and start generating some side cash. Start a side hustle and generate some extra cash flow. You can go to garage sales, right? Every weekend, pick up some gems that you find in garage sales, go resell them on eBay, make a couple $100 every weekend. Doesn't take a lot of effort to do that. Find stuff on eBay and upmarket for a couple dollars and sell it on Amazon, right? Do some affiliate marketing. Sign up as an affiliate for a software company or for Amazon or for just about anyone. If you really look around, you can find affiliate programs for all sorts of things. So find something you're passionate about and become an affiliate. Get a cut off of every sale that you bring them. Manage social media for a small business. It's one of the things that I do, right? There's all sorts of options, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. I'm not going to get into it too much right now, but maximize the internet and the opportunities and technology that we have now, because it's easier than ever before right now to earn a side income on the internet. So again, coming back to financial freedom, that third thing, minimize the expenses and get your cash flow up. And once your cash flow is larger than your expenses, you're now financially free, quote unquote. Automate things a little bit, so you only have to spend a couple hours a day, and then you have this newfound freedom. You can travel. If you get injured, you're still earning while you're laid up in the hospital, or you're waiting for your broken leg to heal, right? If you're working at a factory or something, if you break a bone or something serious, you're not able to work. With extra cash flow, and once you're financially free, you don't have to worry about that. You have flexibility. You can do things like retire your parents and buy your supercars and whatever it is, and still have money left over because your expenses are covered. Everything else on top is just gravy. Tim Ferriss, the author of the 4-Hour Workweek, it's a great book. He talks about this stuff a lot, and he goes into a lot of detail. It's a New York Times bestseller. He sold a ton of copies, millions and millions around the world, and he really dives into this newfound lifestyle, escaping the 9-to-5, becoming the new rich, traveling the world, doing what you want to do on your terms, and still having the lifestyle that you want. So, like I said, that's a really great book. I'm sure a lot of you have read it, or at least heard about it. For those of you that haven't, I highly encourage it. I'll put a link down in the description to that as well, to a discounted copy. So pick that up for yourself. It's some great reading. You'll really enjoy that and benefit from that. So that being said, those are the 3 things that I think they should teach you in school. That they don't. Hopefully you got some value out of this. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and if there's anything else that you'd like to learn or me to touch on in future videos, let me know there as well. And make sure you click that subscribe button. I want to keep you guys posted on what I'm talking about and continue to add value. And I apologize for the lack in quality of my first few videos here. Bear with me, I'm just getting started. I'd rather just put out value and content for you now. I'm gonna polish it as I go. The quality will get better, I promise. So thank you for sticking with me. Hopefully you got something out of this, and I'll see you guys soon.